What's up, good people? Welcome to episode 17 of PWND. Now, random remark time. I finally managed to get my hands on this cap. I had always been wanting it, and then Canada ran out of stock, and finally it came back. So yes, it's a new era. Snapback Shoryuken cap. It's this year is Street Fighter's 25th anniversary, and the reason why, I guess I'm not like fantastic at the game, but I am a huge fan of Street Fighter, and one of the reasons why is because it's one of the games that I grew up with. When I was a kid, I used to hang out at the mall, try my hands out on Street Fighter 1 back in the PC Engine days, and then Street Fighter 2. Okay, but that's a different story for a different time. Anyway, I want to apologize first of all. I know you guys are probably thinking, what the hell, Elite Longstrike. Okay, I don't mean to mislead you guys. What I meant in that video description on top, or the video title on top, is that I actually modded a Longstrike to have some Elite internals. Yeah, so I hate to disappoint you guys. If you guys are all the Longstrike fans, if you guys are actually hoping to get the Elite treatment for the Longstrike, well, if you can't wait like me, I can't wait because I like the shape and the aesthetics of the Longstrike. You can use a Retaliator's internals and put them into the Longstrike, and I will show you how via a walkthrough or talkthrough. And the reason why I'm doing that is because this started off as I guess a project that I just wanted to try out for fun. It was just like, you know, on a whim. It was a free lazy afternoon. I decided, okay, I'm just going to try this stuff, see if this works out, and it actually did. Nothing fantastic was actually done to the blaster. No like special cuts to make, you know, things like that. So it was actually really simple, and I'm really glad with the way it turned out. It turned out a lot better than I expected, and that's why I want to share it with you guys. Now, the only way that I can share it with you after finishing the mod is to kind of open up the blaster and go backwards. So I will just be taking you guys through a talkthrough or walkthrough of what I actually did to this blaster, and you can check that out right now. Here we go.
Alright, what we have in front of you is the Longstrike all opened up and ready and prepped up for my walkthrough or talkthrough on how I actually made the so-called Elite Longstrike, or the Longstrike with the Elite internals. Now, as you can tell, I already have the Retaliator internals inside, and it sits all very nicely. So now I'm going to take you through this walkthrough. First, I would like to let you know that one of the things I like especially about this mod is the fact that you don't actually need any specialized or power tools for this job. All you need are the bare necessities like a screwdriver, your choice of adhesive, hot glue, super glue, goop, they're all fine. You need like a pair of nibblers or wire cutters. You need some spare or scrap material. What I use for scrap material I'll run through with you in a short while. And yeah, and a steady hand and some patience. And you need a pair of tube cutters also, or pipe cutters. So get the rotary ones, the rotating ones, not the ratcheting ones, not the parrots. That's about it. And oh yeah, I used a pair of scissors for only one purpose, and I will let you know what that was for. Alright, so I'm going to start off with the bolt sled over here. So let me just take these internals out a little bit. Okay, so I'll begin the bolt sled. Now, please ignore the fact that I'm using Orange Modworks bolt sled for the Longstrike. You can use whatever you want. Aluminum. No, not aluminum. You have to cut it, so not aluminum. You can use a stock one, shouldn't be a problem. So what this breech part is kind of like a hybrid sort of a breech. The first half is the Longstrike breech, and the second half is the Retaliator breech. Now, in order for this mod to work or perform at least well, you need to remove the air restrictor. Now, I know that I actually did a pretty bad job removing the air restrictor. As you can see, it's all iffy. That is because I had, like I said, no power tools, so I didn't use a drill. All I did was use a hammer and a screwdriver and hammer the shit out of it, and yeah, I got my results. So that's what it is. So you get your tube cutters or your pipe cutters, and then you cut off the back half of a Retaliator breech, and then you maintain the front half of a Longstrike breech. And then what I did was I got a pair of scissors. I reamed out the inside of the Retaliator half, and then made sure that everything fit, and I glued it all in place with super glue. Now, how long does this need to be? Slightly more than 12 centimeters or 5 3/4 inches. So make sure it's a bit more than 5 3/4 inches. Where do you measure it from? From this lip over here, right from here all the way to the end of the whole breech assembly. So make sure that this is, I guess, almost flush. If you pin it down and you look over here, just as long as it exceeds a little bit, that's fine. Alright, so I'm going to put this one aside. So that's it. Oh no, wait, hang on, I can't put it aside. Right, so what you need to do next, get your nibblers or your wire cutters, and you have to cut off the back portion of the bolt sled. Now what that does is basically you lose your functionality of the bolt lock. So therefore, in order for this mod to work, you have to remove the bolt lock. So as you can see, there's just two slots for the screws. I don't know if you can tell. Never mind, but anyway, everything is flat. So this was the residue or the original piece that was stuck on, and was this much. All I did was just cut it out and made it flush. So you guys use wire cutters or nibblers, just aim, make sure you cut it straight, have a steady hand, and take a deep breath and cut. Alright, so that's what I did. Alright, this part actually took me quite a while to figure out, and I finally did, so I'm kind of proud. So onto the plunger tube assembly. Alright, get to that tubing in a short while. Just remove everything first. Alright, here we go. Okay, now plunger tube assembly. You need to do absolutely nothing to this thing. Don't do anything at all. Right, so just leave it alone. When you install it, please make sure that the nubs are facing upwards. Okay, so it's like that. These two will actually go into the slot over here, right in the middle. So I'm going to put this one aside. This catch plate comes from the Retaliator. Alright, so I'm going to put this one aside also, because that's, well, simple, straightforward. Now onto the shell. You need to do a little bit of shell work. You don't have to cut anything, however you need to glue some stuff. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of junk over here. What these are, these orange things, they are actually the pegs from air restrictor pieces. So I recently was tinkering around with one of my Mavericks, and I had some air restrictor pieces or the dart pegs left over, and I'm actually using 5 cut down dart pegs over here. So it's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you're going to use the same thing as I am, do it. If not, you just have to make sure that you fill up this slot, this middle slot. You have to fill up this whole slot all the way to this line, so make sure it's flush. Right, so from here to here, it has to be solid. Use whatever you want, scrap pieces, cut up PVC strips, anything that you want. And you don't even need a strong adhesive. I'm just using hot glue. So let me show you what's important for you to take note of. Okay, so you can see the white part over here. You'll see a little, like a step, like a nub sticking up, or a ridge, as you, whatever you want to call it. So make sure that everything's flush along with the higher nub or ridge. Make sure everything is just flush, one straight line. Right, so 5. Make sure you do this on both sides of the Longstrike shell. Let me just get my other half to show you. So it's the same thing, flush to this particular nub over here, all the way to this line. Now if you notice, also over here I have an orange piece, and I have the same orange piece over here. Now what that is actually a cut up Longstrike catch plate. Now I have a spare Longstrike catch plate over here to show you guys. Now if you were to look at the Longstrike catch plate, I'm going to try and block the light over here. Now the shape is like that. On this side over here, you notice that there's a little sharp bend to signify that from this point onwards all the way down is going to be completely straight. On the other side, however, it's curved all the way down to almost more than halfway below. So what you want is always the completely straight part. So I basically made a cut here, and I made a cut here. I cut off the lower bars, and I have two scrap pieces, and these I just hot glued into place over here and on the other side of the shell. Now these do not need to be held in so so securely, because these are just going to act as spaces for your Retaliator catch to move up and down and sit in place like that. So it shouldn't be much of a problem. Alright, so yeah. Next thing for you to take note is when you install everything back in place, especially the plunger tube, this is how it should sit. This part over here, okay, this let me try and see, this outer lip, the outer lip of the plunger tube will actually be resting on this thing over here. These I guess these legs will be inside of this ridge over here, and the last thing is that the lip will be halfway inside the catch plate, like that, halfway inside. So you gotta make sure that everything does that in order for this mod to actually work. So let me just show you a quick demonstration. Everything sits in nicely, and it should be just like that. Okay, yeah, I didn't install the spring properly, so therefore it's gonna explode if I let go. I just want to show it to you guys up close. So there, half of it is inside. Now onto the back part of the blaster, the back side or the butt of the blaster. I actually have here a piece of PEX tubing that I just hot glued in place over here. Now you need material to be a spacer. Mine is a 16mm PVC to actually hold the springs in place, and I also sleeve my old whatchamacallit tube on the inside to act as a spacer so that there'll be better compression for the spring on the back, so it would sit like that. And the pack tubing is actually just you know, for a guide so that this thing doesn't wobble up and down. However, I'm glad to announce that I actually made another finding for all of you my viewers out there, because I realized that almost 90% of you guys don't have this whatchamacallit tube. We don't have access to this thing. So for you guys in America, you have a particular type of a 15mm tube or half-inch PVC tube. I don't know if the official name is called Schedule 20 or Schedule 40 PVC. You do have one half-inch PVC that can nest in CPVC or half-inch CPVC. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm not an American, so I don't really know. I think Atani knows, but I didn't consult him because I just wanted to make this video as fast as I could. That tubing is ideal for you to perform things like the Retaliator retrofit into the recon shell. It's ideal for this sort of a usage where, okay, just let me get this spring out, where it is wide enough so that the spring does not fall through. As you can see, it doesn't fall through, it just sits on it nicely and it cannot fall through. And it is also wide enough at the same time for this piece to actually slip through. Okay, this is not the correct tubing that I'm talking about, but it is close. This is a standard 15mm UPVC or PVC pipe that is sold in Singapore. So I do believe that what you are talking about could be Schedule 40 PVC. Alright, so let me just try and put everything back in place to show you guys, or give you a mock-up of what it should look like. Right, so spring goes here, this one goes here. Everything should sit nicely like so on the inside, like that. It shouldn't explode because I installed it right now. This time around, I'll hold everything in place. This should go in the breech like that. See if we can go further. Okay, good. So there, everything's in. It should look something like that, of course with your extra tubing at the back. So there you have it, the walkthrough or talk through of the how I actually made the Longstrike fit the Elite internals. So do remember that when you perform this mod, there is no going back. There is no going back or reverse engineering and returning your Longstrike back into stock form because of the cuts you make on the bolt stud. And yeah, well, yeah, unless you have a spare bolt stud, then you just have to remove all those extra pieces that you actually installed inside.
So I hope you liked that part of the video. Once again, I apologize for not actually documenting every step of the way or the whole mod process, but I hope that there was something that you could take out of that. And if you guys are interested in modding your Longstrike with, you know, to fit the Retaliator internals, please go ahead. I'm sure that you can do a fantastic job. You guys, anyway, knowing you guys, someone will actually do a very good job, because all of you, like I mentioned before, you guys are seasoned modders, you know what you're doing. Right, so I'm going to give you guys a firing demo of this thing in action. I would like to point out to you that I am using the grip from Explorer. I have no idea what this grip is called anymore, I totally forgot. That's because I don't really like the bolt action motion if I'm actually using the blaster like that. And also I have inside installed, like I mentioned in the video, SG Nerf's 8kg spring. Right, okay, I'm gonna hold that thought for a while, just hold that thought for a while. I finally received this from Orange Malt Works. Is the Retaliator Unleashed Solid Stage 1 kit. In it has a 5kg spring. Sorry, so here we go. This is a 5kg spring. Let me just have a stock spring comparison. So there we go, it's almost the same. It is the same height. So this should actually work a lot better with your Elite blasters. And also because I actually had a pre-order, I got myself, I mean, this is supposed to come with the kit. It's a metal catch for the Retaliator, but I also got myself a metal trigger. I will get into more detail about this whenever I finally use this thing. So this goes aside first. I'm going to keep it for a future video, so just so you guys know. If you want to watch or if you're interested in watching a pretty good installation and a review of this particular kit, go check out this video. This is Coop's video. I actually pre-ordered mine, then OMW sent I guess one set of these to Coop for review first. I'm not an affiliate with Orange Markbook, so I want to just make it clear to you guys that I pay for my stuff. I'm just buying this. So anyway, I pre-ordered it. I watched Coop's video and I thought, oh wow, sweet, nice spring and everything, and I'm surprised that it came through. Pre-ordering gets you the metal trigger. Alright, so yeah, anyway, back to the story. So I have with me a full clip of 6 FDL darts inside this clip, and I'm going to be firing it off with this Longstrike at the usual board over there. So here we go. Last dart out. Now everything is empty. All the darts have been fired off. This was the Elite Longstrike. We're going to put this aside. Now here comes the next part of the video. Yes, you already read the video title. I have with me an Elite Jolt. Now this one is officially Elite, okay? So just a quick comparison between the old one and the original orange one. You guys can actually check out more. Actually, you should check out SG Nerf's blog for more pictures and more close-ups. And he had a whole bunch of them, but for me, I just ordered one. I got it off Taobao. Probably the same supplier as, or the same merchant as the one that SG Nerf ordered his from. So here I have the Clue Elimination Jolt. Right, so as you can tell, the shade of blue is slightly different. This one is known as Peacock. So yeah. Okay, so I just want to point out something that I realized, that you see this little blue line over here, blue mark. I do believe that it's actually the same exact thing. It is the so-called iron sight on the top of the Jolt. Now this orange piece over here is just an extra cap that I believe is made up of 3 parts. So 2 halves over here and 1 orange ring to put on the front. So I think that they actually glued everything down, and I will not be trying to pry this open because I only have one of these. Now it has already been reviewed, and results have shown that these two have exactly the same performance. But just for the kicks of it, I'm going to show you guys a firing demonstration so that you can see the velocity for yourself. So I have a bunch of 5 Elite darts over here, and why 5? Because first dart is going to be fired by the Clue Elimination Jolt. So here we go. This is the blue one, which is not the best one out of all the Jolts that you've seen. If you haven't seen it, click this video, then you know that the yellow one's the best one for me. Right, so I mean to me or my set. So you saw that velocity. Now try and keep that in mind. So now next up will be the original orange Jolt. Okay. Prime the baby. Put this one in and fire off. Okay, now blue Jolt. Oops, I dropped the dart. Get another dart. Now for this last shot on the orange one, I will be aiming it angled up a little bit so you can see the bounce off and the ricochet off the wall. So here we go. Okay, final dart with the blue Jolt. Same thing. So hopefully you guys can actually see the velocity is the same, the way the darts travel, the same speed and everything. So performance is the same. These two, they're just different recolors, I guess. The same shell, essentially the same shell as compared to the Clue Elimination Jolt. So which is your favorite color? You guys decide. For me, they're all fine with me. I kind of like these guys in stock colors. I really think that orange is actually kind of cute, you know, and this is actually kind of cool. So it really depends on your loadout. Now if you guys have forgotten, you should go get yourself some Jolt connectors from Slydev. Slydev is making his V2 of almost all his products, and V2 means that they're going to cost a little bit more, but they're going to be way stronger. So don't forget to actually use my coupon code. It's PWND, alright, to earn yourself some discount. Don't forget to use that, okay? This code actually lasts all the way till the end of this year. So go get yourself some sweet Jolt connectors to go make your blasters even more tactical. Now that we're going to get the release of the Elite Jolt, it's going to look sick on any Elite blaster for sure, man. Alright, so anyway, that's about it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you had something that you could take out of this video. I hope that I was able to surprise you guys, not in a bad way. So I do apologize if I was very misleading. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for episode 18. Have a great week ahead. Peace. You know what these are? These are like a whole bunch of 1,000 silicone tips, man. Woo, FBR.